Welcome to the ConunDRUM podcast, and it's another great episode with another fantastic guest. My guest comes from the Don't Blink or You'll Miss It village of Rogersville, and it's my second week in a row where I get to have a conversation with one of Les Hey Babies. This week, my guest is the ultra-talented Vivianne Roy. So we talk about all kinds of stuff as per the usual podcast format. We talk about catching COVID. We talk about songwriting, some tour horror stories, her solo project, Laura Sauvage. And we also talk about our love-hate relationship with streaming platforms. Just all kinds of stuff. I hope you enjoy my fantastic conversation with the ultra-talented Vivianne Roy. Cool. So, how are you? How you feeling?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
It was pretty mild. Like
Yeah.
that whole COVID thing. Some people in the band got it worse than I did,
Oh, yeah.
but yeah, but it's still pretty mild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm guessing everyone was vaxxed since you were traveling and playing shows.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Did they get their
pretty lucky.
boosters or was it just the double vax?
No, most of us were. I think we were all boosted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
We should be.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, I had
as
it.
soon as I found out we could, I went for it. So.
Yeah. 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 I had it 2 weeks, I think, before you caught it.
Right.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
had to stay
that
home,
sucks.
but I didn't have
Uh,
any symptoms at all.
no. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was just like low energy, bit of a runny nose, but like some feverish tendencies, but like nothing. I don't even know if I had a fever.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was very basic. Yeah. So
Did you even bother testing or did you just figure you had it?
I tested every day, but the thing is, my tests were also like I brought them on tour with us, and they were in luggage with all our suits. They were in it, so I think it was maybe messed up with the cold because it can only go like
Yeah. Yeah. Up to a
you know
certain, yeah, it has to be kept at a
well,
certain temperature.
it has to be kept at least over -2 degrees, I think. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And it was colder than that.
Yeah, no, we've been having it good here in New Brunswick.
Yeah, yeah. I just
Like
mean like well, that stretch when you guys were on tour, you guys were driving through storms and it was, yeah,
yeah, but it's especially during nighttime, right? You don't know, like
yeah,
the clothes leave like stay in the van. So
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So how was the first half of your March tour? How were I mean, a lot of sold out shows.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Lots of places. The first half I found was like lots of spots that we've been like in 2014, maybe 2015, but like we hadn't been in a while, so
Hmm.
it felt nice to go back. And people were. It was kind of like you know, you can tell that people are super eager to go back to see shows and
Yeah, that's everyone's got that fever now to get out. They
yeah,
want to be done with the masks. I know that's coming up soon, and
yeah, yeah.
well, I mean, we'll see how that runs. I mean, once
I'm
everything's lifted,
personally pretty done with it.
yeah,
Yeah,
a lot of
yeah,
people
yeah,
are. Yeah.
yeah. Especially with long hair, you always get like a random hair stuck in there, twirling around your nose, going in your mouth.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my beard hasn't been the same shape since it all started.
Right, yeah,
I get
yeah.
that weird curl thing. Yeah, it's a
Oh yeah.
pain in the
Yeah,
ass. Yeah.
yeah,
Um, so so you're from Rogersville originally.
yeah,
That's yeah. I mean, of lots of interviews and people have always asked like where you're from and stuff like that. Um,
yeah.
so I have family from Rogersville as well, and I spent a lot of years growing up
Great.
and visiting grandparents and
Who's
spending
your
time.
Who's your family in Rogersville? Can I ask that on here?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I'm an open book.
Okay.
My grandfather was Henry or Henri,
Henri
and
Pino?
Pinot, yeah, and Flavie was his wife.
I've
Um,
heard that name before, but I don't
yeah,
know.
they passed like quite a few years ago, like
Okay,
15
okay.
years ago.
Okay.
But they were living in that retirement home
Yeah. With what
just behind the church.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I spent a lot of time there. Not much to do, but
Yeah. Do you still have like cousins and stuff over there? Or?
no, I don't think so. It's mostly like family friends that would be, but they've all kind of moved on.
Right. Yeah.
And it was when I was in grade 1 and grade 2, we lived in Murray Settlement.
No way. My dad has land over there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And right not far from well, I guess it was a mini home, was a guy by the name of Vivianne Roy.
I wouldn't know.
No,
But
he's still there.
no. Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Ah, Regent Roy, maybe. Actually, there's a Regent. I think this is might be that small world, but I think he might have sold my parents' house to them, like the one that I grew up in as a kid.
Yeah.
And then, like, that's in Murray Settlement. And I know it was like a Regent, but I'm not sure if it was a Roy, though.
Yeah.
But,
he's about
yeah.
my age, a couple years older than
Okay.
me.
Oh, okay. No,
Yeah.
not that guy.
Not that guy. He's still there. Like if you drive by, not to out him. I don't think anyone that watches this is gonna care. But as you drive by, like he still has like the little blue name tag on the highway, like where the house number is, and then it still says Roy. So I think he just kind of inherited his mom's home.
Okay, I'll keep an eye out for it next time.
Yeah, he used to bully me when I was a kid. So
No.
yeah. Well, when I was living there, I was a couple years younger. Yeah, egg. Oh, he's a great guy now. Like we get along just fine. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just kids are stupid sometimes.
Yeah, kids are. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah. Just,
So yeah, I was just curious if you had any relation to him at all, but I guess not.
No. And I gotta say, like in Rogersville, I used to work at the co-op, so I would see all kinds of people all the time, and just learn their names from seeing it up on there was like a lottery, so they would put their name, and then I'd be like, oh, okay, this is that person or whatever. But I thought I'd remember all those people, but I forgot so many.
Oh yeah, once a couple years go by and it's out of sight, out of mind, you just I'm terrible.
Like I might have known who it was, but I don't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, my dad has a piece of land actually on the 126, like in Murray Settlement.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's kind of where the Barnaby River passes. There's like a bridge, and then there's like a tiny little camp. You see it a bit like it's still pretty open, but you'll see this little camp on the land, like
something.
Far away, and
that's something that you want to inherit and develop later on and retire.
I'd love to, yeah, but I think he's putting it for sale. So. Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, but it's like it's a beautiful piece of land.
Yeah, like I was only there for a couple of years, but I had a lot of good memories from that brief time. Like it was me and my brother and sister, and that's where I kind of first got into like music that my parents didn't listen to. Because my brother would be in the basement and he'd be listening to like Sabbath and Zeppelin and like all those like Motley Crue, all that kind of stuff.
Nice.
And my sister was listening to like Corey Hart and Chicago and Tiffany and all that stuff, right? So
what did your parents listen to?
Oh, Merle Haggard, George Jones, Conway Twitty, Gene Watson. Oh yeah.
Gene Watson, I don't know.
They used to drive from Murray Settlement to Chatham to go to the Urban Corral. There used to be a little bar there.
Okay,
so
yeah.
They brought like Charlie Pride and all those people would come and cool. So they'd go there on the weekends and leave us alone, and my brother would wreck their car.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, it was a good time. One time my sister, we were having company, and my sister had this grand idea to dress me up as Dee Snider from Twisted Sister.
Yeah.
So my parents and their friends are in the living room, and I'm like covering my face, pretending like I'm hurt or I'm crying or whatever, and then big reveal with all the makeup.
You're Dee Snider. That's freaking hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh,
Did
that's awesome.
I mean, so you were in Rogersville, so there, I mean, you guys must have got up to a lot of mischievous activities, as teenagers.
Yeah, yeah. Like you were saying that, and it reminds me of you know, my brother would babysit me sometimes, and his friends would invite him to go play paintball in the forest.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember once it was like a heat wave, and he dressed me up in a ski-doo suit with a ski-doo mask, and he put me like at the bottom of a tree because he really wanted to go play with his friends. He put me at the bottom of the tree and he says, "You move, we shoot you." And he just ran off in the woods. He's just like pew 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 playing their game. Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah, yeah.
Older brother, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Yeah, I was the youngest at home.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm the youngest too. Do you have just a brother, or do you have any other siblings?
Yeah, I have a sister too. She works with you.
That's right. Oh yeah, you mentioned that.
Yeah. The middle child.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but it's funny, like I find so many people that I meet and get along with, and like even most of the band, all of the band, we're all like the youngest kids, you know. So it's the youngest, like you're the youngest. So weird, like how I don't know. I find like
babies for life,
Yeah, babies for life, exactly.
We're always the favorite too.
We die. What?
Yeah, we're always the favorites too.
I hope so.
At least that's what my parents told me. I don't know.
Oh, that's nice.
I'm sure they said that to the others too.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So, how old were you when you first got into like listening to music? Like, what was the influence at home?
Listening to music, I would say I remember being like, I have a very far back memory, but I remember being like maybe 3, and my uncle like came back from Toronto. So he had like this record player and like this system, and he set it up at my mom's house, and because he moved at my grandmother's or something. So we had it for the longest time, and my mom got oh, sorry, wow, this is coming out of nowhere.
Side effect from COVID. It's all good.
Yeah. I can feel my brain shrinking.
Yeah.
So my mom kind of got onto the Columbia House train, and started getting a bunch of CDs and cassettes all the time. So while my sister and brother were at school, there was always this Christmas time, every month, like just this surprise present of music. And my mom could just do whatever, and I would just sit in a beanbag chair and just listen and go through. I couldn't read, but I'd look at the pamphlets and stuff. So anyway, so I got into all kinds of stuff very young, and there was still good music on Much Music. And
when they played music.
So, and it was like nonstop. And so we listened to all kinds of music all the time, which like at the time, I don't think most kids were allowed to watch much music at like 4 years old, 5 years old. But and then like I went through everything that was like marketed to like little girls, like I went through the Britney Spears phase, the Backstreet Boys, Spice Girls, NSYNC, all of that. And then and then I started getting into like the pop punk and stuff, like stealing punk CDs from my brother. And then
nice.
I started getting into like the classic rock, and then the blues, and then
so you like worked your way backwards.
Yeah.
So you started like in the 2000s, and then kind of go back to the punk, like the 90s, and then the pop punk and the
then like I became obsessed with like Dylan for a while. So then I went through like I was really in, and like Led Zeppelin. So like I'd go find their influences, and
Yeah.
then from there find their influences, and
Mm-hmm.
so on, and then that would open me up to listen to all kinds of stuff all the time. Yeah. I always thought of listening to music kind of like at school.
I think schools should treat music in that way
Yeah.
too, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know actually. It's like I wish it would have been there for me at school. But I find like sometimes it can be such a waste of time having people that aren't interested at all. And like when you're a kid, it's tough to imagine that some people just don't care about music.
Yeah.
But sometimes kids just don't have the attention span, and it's I don't know. I think because we barely had like regular music classes, I just can't imagine having it part of the system because like it was so chaotic when I went.
Yeah.
People would, yeah, there was like no discipline and it was just noise
It was like a
and
free class. Like
yeah,
you didn't have to do
exactly.
anything. Yeah.
Yeah, free period.
Yeah. See, when I went, we had like actual, like, you had to choose your instruments. So you could choose like the saxophone or the clarinet or
Yeah.
the like classic guitar. Like she didn't have acoustics, had like the old nylon string with the thick
Yeah,
neck.
yeah. Right.
So, and we'd have to like learn songs. Some people got relegated to like they couldn't play an instrument, so they got the little wood blocks, and that's all they did
Right.
was keep
Follow
time.
the beat. Yeah.
And that was a struggle for some.
But that's it. Like we when I was in high school, it was just like there was 12 guitars, 12 classical guitars and one drum kit. So
Uh,
it was a friggin' mess. It was terrible. And then there
mhm.
was like an untuned piano, so it was like
Yeah. See, I think
kind of
for school for education and music, I think what they need to do is have it as later. So like, I guess right at the end of junior high, when you kind of have more of an identity as to what you want to listen to.
yeah,
And
and you're starting
rather-
to get more responsible.
Yeah, and then rather than have like a set curriculum, find out what the students want to listen to or work on, and then dissect that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like pick
Yeah.
a song that's popular at the time, or whatever, and then
Yeah, go
learn
through
that as a class, and then so that kind of develops, some musical ability and learn how to play an instrument, and then be able to take it outside of class and form a band with your friends.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. Fun. I did some volunteer work at a rock camp in Montreal. Right.
Oh, nice.
Was it the summer of COVID? No. Anyway, the summer before COVID, I think. It's like a girls' rock camp and stuff.
2018, 19.
Yeah, I think 19. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I find those are really important for, especially growing up. A lot of women, like there's so many like girls doing music now, all around. But I find, growing up, it was such a guy's thing.
Yeah.
Like, whenever you were a girl doing it, you'd kind of didn't feel confident enough to even join in with the guys. So I find like there's this like rock camp concept that I find is cool because it kind of gives them an equal opportunity, and they're there because they're interested, and they every morning they would like learn about Buffy St. Marie or Joan Baez or Bikini Kill or all kinds of stuff, and then they'd have to like within a week like write a song together. Most of them don't even know how to play their instrument. They just have to like write a song together and perform it. It's crazy, like the motivation they can string out like to
and they have to come up with like a band name and a logo and design like a T-shirt or whatever, that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that whole fanzine DIY stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. Because like I find I'm all for music education in schools, but like you can't do it half-ass.
No.
If you're doing it half-ass, never gonna work. So yeah, so I don't know what we were talking about that like led to like the school music education program
Yeah.
and stuff, but
Well, I mean,
yeah.
I think it is important, and I guess to your point, the rock camps I think do more for it than the schools would.
Yeah,
I know there is a rock camp in Moncton.
yeah,
There's a girls' rock camp. Friend of mine, Kendra Gale, she
right, yeah,
participates in helping and mentoring the
right,
girls there. Yeah,
yeah,
and she talked about when she was younger, she went to a rock camp, and it was co-ed, like there was guys and girls, and she was like the one girl with like the pink hair, and
yeah,
everybody kind of like stayed away, not thinking she could
right,
play or anything, and then she gets behind the drum kit and then just kills it.
yeah.
So
That's it.
yeah.
Was she? What bands was she in? Was she in the Kamalas?
What's that?
Was she in the Kamalas?
I don't think so. I mean, she's the Kendra Gale band now. She plays guitar and
Okay,
sings.
yeah.
She's with
I've heard her name before.
the Fiery.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, she was with the Galpines too, actually, for a little bit before
Oh, okay,
they broke up. Yeah.
okay. I didn't even know they broke up. I only moved back here like in March,
Yeah.
and there hasn't been many time to go see shows or many shows, so
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
kind of lost touch with all of that.
Yeah. Because you moved to Montreal for a bit, eh?
Yeah, I was there for like 6 years.
That's more than a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I moved there in 2015, and during the pandemic and everything. Right before the pandemic, I was planning on moving here during the summer, and it didn't work out. I was just like, nah, I'm just gonna totally enjoy Montreal for the next year, and I did. I usually we're out on tour, so I we started like a bicycle gang. So we would go doing nighttime bicycle rides,
Yeah.
and we'd just hang out, go around town, and go canoe camping,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
yeah, all kinds of fun activities that I never get to really do. So
Well, yeah. Like when you're on tour, you're going from place to place. You don't get to see much of it because you're there for like a day, maybe two at the most, and it's
yeah,
you get there, you set
most
up,
of
you
the time
play.
yeah, most of the time you're working too. You're
Yeah.
driving all day. You get there, you set up. You might have like 1 or 2 hours downtime, but even at that, you'll take like 1 hour, and then you'll start getting ready
Hmm.
and thinking about supper, and then you like your sound check is done. You go play your show, and then pack up, go to the
Yeah.
hotel. Everything is like the party started, and you're still sober, so you might as well go to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because then you don't want to get into the trap of trying to play catch up because then you get super messed up.
Yeah, I like we didn't know that was a game until recently we learned how to not play that.
Hmm.
So at first it was always like that, but
Yeah.
yeah, no.
Yeah. Because you
gotta,
want to enjoy it and you want to go out afterwards and
yeah,
go meet people and hang
yeah.
out and yeah.
But everybody deserves a good show, so
Yeah. Yeah. There's that
you
too.
gotta yeah, so you gotta kind of learn how to limit yourself.
Yeah. For
That's
sure.
something that yeah, that's something that I've recently started reflecting on, and especially like after the pandemic, that's it. People haven't gone to see shows, and you want to fucking blow their minds.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And you guys put on one hell of a show. Like I think from day one, even when it was just the three of you, just performance wise, you guys were always so tight. I haven't been able to like go and see one of your shows, but like there's plenty of YouTube videos of you guys like,
Yeah.
and you guys were always really tight. Like
Yeah. I find like it recently just really took a step up, because like before it was what we called kind of brush à foin, so like it was half-assed. We would like sometimes we would almost go on stage and be like, fuck, we didn't even make a set list. And we get on stage with like stuff written on brown paper towels, or like
Mm-hmm.
we've seen it on paper plates and all kinds of stuff, and or whipping out a song that we just realized the fuck we don't have that guitar, or whatever, kind of stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And we're finally like it's been a decade now, and we're just starting to get more professional about it, where we don't stress out as much, because now if we even forget to put a set list, we know what the show is,
Yeah.
and together we can just concentrate on playing it, being there in the moment, and we're that way we're more capable of enjoying the crowd, or more
Yeah.
like less in our heads,
Yeah, yeah. Like the more you
So,
prepared beforehand, the easier it is to live in the moment.
yeah, totally.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's like something that I'm just realizing, like, because if not, it's kind of like when you're playing guitar and you forget that you wanted to set a pedal a certain way or whatever before, and the whole time you're trying to play is like, just okay, wait, this next part I can go and or
Yep.
kind of, it doesn't put you in a good seat.
Yeah. I think a lot of people, they want to enjoy the show, and they want to watch it and be entertained and get their value, their money that they paid for their ticket or whatever.
Yeah.
So the more that you've prepared and you can do that, the better it is received. And, and then you get to the point where you're on autopilot, and people don't realize how much work it took to get to that point.
But I've been to autopilot before, and you don't want to go there, because then at that point you don't want to think about other things than the show.
Yeah, because in your mind, you're thinking about, oh, I could go for a poutine after the show, and then all of a sudden,
yeah, exactly.
You fucked up.
By the way, it did happen to me just recently, and we went for the absolute worst poutine
Oh no.
I've ever eaten in my whole life. This last tour, it was in Victoriaville, which is supposed to be like one of the two home of the poutines. It was terrible. Anyway, but fucking poutine was so gross.
Is that the one? Like, I follow you guys on Instagram, and
yeah.
Is that the because I saw there was pictures of this big menu of like all these different poutines. Is that the place?
That's the place.
Okay.
It was so freaking gross. It like they had chopped up wieners in most of their poutines. Like cubed wieners, and like we get it and we're like, where's the cheese? And they just put all the cheese on the bottom with fries on top. It was ridiculous.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So like, I'm sure the next show after, I kind of thought about, am I going for poutine after this?
Yeah. Smoke's Poutinery is really good if you ever get to go there.
Yeah, they don't
overdo it. That's the problem. Like when you put too much, it takes away from it.
Right. I underdo it. The way I usually eat a poutine is like fries and cheese. No sauce.
No sauce?
No, and I just call it a Virgin Quebecer. And then I'll sometimes, if I want to get fancy, I'll add some vinegar with it. And then
that's not bad.
No, yeah.
I'll have to try that. So if we go back to your early days and listening to music in the house, when was it when you first kind of got the idea of being able to play music on your own?
I wanted to become a musician before I could even play music. So I was like 4 or 5, and in my head I was like, I want to do music. And then later on, when I was like 12, I was like, I want to become a producer.
Okay.
And then and I only learned how to play guitar like later that year. But I remember even saying it to my grandmother, and I've said it before, but like this is like the biggest tip that anyone has ever given me. It was like when I was like 12 and I told her I wanted to become a producer, she was like, well, you got to learn how to listen to everything all at once. And it stuck to me, and I was like, even now I'm just like, how can someone who doesn't do music just put it ever so simply. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, listen to everything all at once. It was exactly what I needed, and I still live up to those, you know, everything all at once. I don't know. It kind of blows me out of the water to like to think of. I don't know. For me, it just meant so much. Especially that my grandmother knew exactly what to say. I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. But so yeah, I learned how to play guitar from Norma Arsenault. He was the janitor at school, but he would teach in his basement. He taught Lisa LeBlanc around the same time too,
Okay.
and then yeah, he and Lisa got me both like into classic rock. That's when I started switching into the classic rock type stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's only a couple years between you and Lisa, right?
A year and a half.
Year and a half. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you guys kind of, Hey Babies and Lisa LeBlanc and that whole, I don't know what genre you'd call it, but like the whole French Czech kind of
Yeah.
folk thing that kind of, I don't want to say exploded, but it kind of hit at the same time. You guys
Yeah.
kind of came up together and
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so you know, Lisa's mom used to work where you work, like where you work too, right?
I think I've heard tell of that, but yeah, I'm not.
Yeah.
There
But
are a few LeBlancs that work there. Yeah.
yeah. Well, so yeah, Lisa and I were like super duper best friends, like in high school. We would go to like leadership camps and stuff, but we were like two peas in a pod because we had trouble finding people that were so obsessed with music around us, and you know, so it was so we influenced each other. Like she showed me a lot of classic rock. I showed her a lot of like the newer like indie rock at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, it was like she she went to study in Granby, and then when she came back, like we were listening to a lot of like Fleet Foxes and type stuff, that type of stuff. And then when I met the girls, we were really into like Fleet Foxes, but also like First Aid Kit. That was like a Swedish duo that covered Fleet Foxes. So then that was like a point that the girls and I like really tripped out on like a folk band and like harmonies and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So from there, and then Lisa was doing more like that country type aesthetic anyway. Like, but yeah, we were just like into that modern folk and stuff, and I had never even heard of harmonies like until well I've heard with with like Fleet Foxes and stuff, but I didn't know anything about harmonies. When I heard Kat and Julie do harmonies, for me it
Mm-hmm.
was like a big puzzle.
Yeah.
Like how are they playing this music next to my music? You know, for me I was like I want to play music with these girls, and so yeah we did, and we started out folk, but
Yeah.
now in the van it's all old music and like either old Western or old African rock uh, or new Turkish stuff or
Just like
Chuck
global.
Berry or
Yeah, like
yeah
more
but
global
also
perspective as opposed to just what's being consumed in North America.
yeah, but it's starting to like come a bit inside of America, you know, like
Yeah.
the Ifidiligdad, Tinariwen, Bambino,
Yeah.
all that type of stuff. It's
Well,
great.
like it's like as you travel and you meet people, you hear what they're listening to, and it just it all comes from
Yeah,
outside influence and sources.
it's just so refreshing to hear
Yeah.
something that you're not used to
Yeah.
hearing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you guys started as the folk thing, and then you released the EP, which is a fantastic EP.
Thanks.
The growth from that first EP into your next the 3 albums, you can really see the progression from all 3 of you. Like as far as the the types of songs. So it's not just folk. Like there's some rock, there's some blues, there's definitely some 70s and some old classical influences. Not just like per song, but per instrument within the song.
Right. Yeah.
And I think it's a really good like melding of all of that.
Yeah.
One of my favorite songs from the first album is the last song on the album, Me connais-tu?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I don't know if it's because like I grew up with that style of guitar playing. Not a lot of people play guitar the way that you play the guitar on that particular song.
Yeah.
And you do it in other songs as well, but just like the thumb tap,
Right.
just
Yeah,
like
that's
no
true.
pick.
Yeah, just playing that bass along and just using I use a lot of the back of my fingers
Yeah.
and these.
Like I said, not a lot of people play in that traditional style. Where did you learn how to play? Is that from your lessons or from back
No,
then? Or
that was just no. I didn't know that was a style. That's just the way that felt like I could express songs, you know?
Okay.
Because I always felt kind of weird just strumming.
Just strumming with the pick, yeah.
Yeah, and I find at home it's kind of like I would play like low. I was too shy to play in front of my family or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I just play low, and it was kind of like I like the sound of it. It's like you can just strum, but I use like the back of my the back of my but
your fingernails.
No, just
yeah,
the back of my fingernails, so it kind of sounds like a pick.
Yeah,
but it's also softer, and just the side of my thumb I find just like I don't even know what I'm playing usually.
yeah.
I'm just playing a bass on it.
Yeah. Another thing with playing that way is it's like you're playing with multiple picks, so the strings are getting hit at the same time, so it definitely has a different sound and feel to it.
Right, yeah.
But that song
I'm not
is
like a finger picker.
No, not like a Chet Atkins or with those banjo picks on your fingers,
Right, yeah. No, I can't even hold them.
No, ugh, gross. But that particular song, just the simplicity of it, like with the one guitar, and then every once in a while, Judy and Kat will come in with the backing vocal, and it just adds so much. Like to me, that's one of the standouts on that album.
Well, that's actually just the iPhone recording. It was
really,
we.
I love the lo-fi stuff.
Well, it was just like what we sent for demos to do the album.
Mm-hmm.
And then so we did like our pre-prod and kind of just left it out because it was going to be easy. And then once we got to the album, we recorded everything, and we were like, oh, yeah, let's just leave it like it is. So we just took the iPhone recording.
That's like a one take in the room kind of. Holy shit.
Yeah. It's literally just like the phone doing was just the idea. We just recorded the idea, and just to have with the other songs, and we ended up just keeping that.
So that's what that little tail end at the end of the song, just before it stops, you hear somebody, I can't make out what's being said, but like somebody saying something or hitting the button.
Really? I'm kind of curious. I don't even know.
Yeah.
I'm just going to look it up here quickly.
Yeah, there's like this tiny little background noise at the end, like after you hit that last chord and say the last line, there's like a little something at the very end.
I wouldn't even know because, I'm probably the person that listened to the album like the least, and like other than like the other girls,
Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's weird listening to your own stuff. Like I hate it.
But no, I can't find it. But I wouldn't be surprised. Like it was usually my phone, so it was probably just like, yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. It was something like that. It's like, that works, kind of thing.
Oh yeah, okay,
cool.
Nice.
So speaking of the whole songwriting thing and that, so when you're writing on your own, because like when I was talking with Judy, she said like for the Hey Babies, you don't really come in with a whole lot prepared at this point. You just kind of come in and work together in the room. So when you're sitting down at home or something comes up, like what's your process for writing on your own? Like, is it a melody, a lyric?
I used to be extremely persistent, and I would write every day. I'd write songs all the time. And it sounds stupid, it sounds a bit crazy, but I kind of got destroyed once when I had like at least like one album that wasn't done, but it was all demos, and like other songs too recorded on a phone that I left in a taxi. And I had specifically turned off my iCloud because, and even at that, my voice memos weren't on it. But we were going to like on tour in Europe with Laura Sauvage, and we had like a trip to Italy and stuff with my boyfriend after. And anyway, so I wanted to make some space, and I called Apple, and they were like, turn off your iCloud and delete everything on your phone, so it'll stay in your iCloud, but then everything else after.
Right.
But then I lost it in a taxi, and I was just super devastated for like 2-3 years.
Yeah.
Like extremely devastated. And I was never the type to write with a pencil or a pen. I always type. So now I have trouble archiving what I write because I don't trust my phone.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not the type to keep a journal or whatever, so I'll just write it on Post-its and find random Post-its all over, or record stuff on Logic, and then like find another idea on my phone that's connected to it, or it's like such a mess. But I'm realizing that I prefer working, and like without too much planning too. I like being on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I like to write. I try writing, but I don't know. Mostly like I'm more into creating music. I love melodies. I love creating. Like I always have an idea for something.
You ever think about getting an old like a cassette player and doing it kind of that old way where you'd hit record on a cassette player and just kind of play your ideas that way?
Yeah, I have. That's another thing. I lose my shit all the time. I used to have a cassette player, like an old General Motors, and actually I have the first take. Yeah, the first song on Quatrième Dimension is actually that tape recorder where I'm like, okay, take un, just take un, or whatever. But
yeah.
I would have that recorder and record. That was my diary. It was like audio snippets of all kinds of stuff, either an idea or I'm at a show. So it's just like a part of a song or like a conversation going on, and like just a little click.
Yeah.
And for me, so I enjoyed that, but then I went to a bar in Montreal and had it in my backpack, left my backpack outside, and got it stolen. So that's it. Like I'm just not good at like keeping my shit together. That's the point of it.
You need to like have
affecting my creativity.
You need to have like an isolated room where it just stays there.
Yeah, that's it.
Work in that room only.
Yeah, and I spray myself, like going in and out, just to make sure
suit.
That it doesn't stick to me, and I walk out with Post-its all over. Yeah,
that's a good idea.
Yeah.
So speaking of the Laura Sauvage, is that more of like a persona, like when you were writing under that? So it's like a character that you created.
It's an alter ego.
Yeah.
That is part of me.
Of course.
I'm just it's just not a side of me that I get into that often.
Right.
But it's it was kind of like the project that I've always wanted to do before even meeting the girls. I never thought I'd start a band. I never thought I'd with 3 girls, and like growing up and in the 90s and stuff and watching much music, and I wanted to do like a more 90s type music, and I, without even listening to Beck for years and years, I remember it like affecting me so much, and I knew that was like a big inspiration. And just like a bunch of, it was just like something that had to come out so I could get over it.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Because you were the first one, because you and Julie both have solo projects, but yours was the first one out of the band. Was there any like hesitation or nerves about presenting that idea of you doing your own thing?
Well, it was always kind of like, but the girls were really supportive, and I feel the same about their projects. And I find like, you know, I absolutely needed to do it again to get over it, because, and for a while, like I had so many ideas that of type of stuff that I wanted to do, but it's not necessarily like the girls' style of music, you know.
Yeah.
They don't trip out on all the kind of music that I listen to or whatever. So that I'm into, and so yeah, I just kind of had to create it, and I wanted to eventually produce records. So by doing it and co-producing it with Danny Placard, which was the first producer, and then doing it again and producing it for the second time, like actually getting my hands in there, kind of was a good first step, and without trying it for the first time on someone else's project.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it was it's more of like a laboratory for me. It's like it's where I can go try stuff out, and yeah. But right now it's so weird. Like I really wanted to do that project for like most of my life, and then now that I've done some of it, you know, I'm just like way more into focusing like fully on Hey Babies.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask if like there's any more, not necessarily Laura Sauvage, but just solo stuff from you as opposed to with the girls.
I mean, some ideas do come out, but even at that, like they're just gonna gather mold on a phone somewhere,
or get lost in a taxi.
Or get lost. Yeah. For now, I don't. I've been trying to mind myself into like writing an album, but I'm not there. I've feel like I've explored what I wanted to explore, and then there's also a lot of music kind of in that genre that's out right now that I don't necessarily want to just add more to it. I think I'd still use because I've always said like that project is just like a wild card. So if there are other albums, they probably won't sound the same.
No. But I mean, and that you can afford to do that as a solo, like you can decide to put it under that umbrella or call it something else.
Or do another one. Yeah.
Or do another one.
I kind of want to do a doo-wop album.
Nice.
To be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I find there's not enough doo-wop, like old R&B type stuff.
Yeah.
Like yeah, it's just that old Motown type stuff. Like there are some, and it's tough to, but I don't want to do it. I just want to do something like it.
Do you ever think of like just writing songs for other people?
During the pandemic, I have actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was something that I was totally against growing up because I don't know, my morals weren't there, and I thought it was like selling out.
Yeah.
But at this point, too, like just the industry has changed so much since we got in it. So like now I understand. I'm just like, hey, it's actually humbling that it's work, you know. So I've done it, and it's fun. I like I think with Hey Babies right now, like we're at a spot where we found like a good way to collaborate after a decade. So we're just like it kind of matured us to like another level. So I don't mind working with other people, which a lot of people do have trouble fully like collaborating. Yeah. So I really enjoyed it actually. I like working with other people and being able to just like pitch out some stuff, and I'm like, you pick and choose what you want, and then I ask questions, and like most of the time we start writing the song and the person doesn't even know it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like taking notes and stuff, and then it's like, okay, I'm proposing this, that, and then it's kind of like a therapy session too, where you just make them talk about certain things, and yeah, you just pick and choose, and you make art with it. And
That's an interesting way of doing it. I've never thought of, like, usually songwriters will lock themselves in a room and they'll write a song, and then here's a song, it's done, you can sing it if you want, versus working with the artist and getting some of their story so that it's more personal when they take that song on themselves.
Yeah, well, that's how I see it. Because like, I have a project. I have my own project. I'm not writing my song for them. I'm writing their song. So that's how I see it. So yeah, I'll be like, hey, what's up? How's it going? I haven't seen you since then. How's that been going? Yeah. And then it'll go into another conversation, and like eventually it goes into like that branch where it's just real talk, and it's like, okay, now we've got something.
Yeah. And then, it becomes personal, and so it's from. And
then you can think of like, or even if it doesn't have to be personal, it can just be a subject or whatever, but you just end up going over it, and you realize, okay, there's lots to be said. So as you go along and you're talking about it, you can just like think of analogies, and like just thinking of an analogy of what is being said will maybe give you a subject or of what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Without being too on the nose.
Yeah,
you know? So by doing that, I find then you just word vomit in the line of, and then the person says like, that speaks to me, that does not speak to me. I could see myself seeing this. I can't see myself seeing that.
Yeah.
And then by the end of it, they've got their song, you know.
Yeah. That's another thing I noted, like with your lyrics, one that comes to mind. The first time I heard it, I was like, wait, did she just say that? So then I rewinded it. And it was the overdose the dope I'm in, then overdose the dope I'm in.
Oh, wait, I didn't even think about that. Overdose the dope I'm in. Oh,
yeah. Like that. I mean, that's how I heard it. I was like, overdose the dope. So it's an overdose of dopamine, but then it's an overdose of the dope that I'm in. Like.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I didn't even. Wow.
So you didn't even like.
I didn't even do that on purpose.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Wow.
See, it's all about perspective, right? It's all about what somebody else takes from the art that you make.
Exactly. Exactly. Wow. I could have totally lied and said, yeah, that was.
I meant to do that.
I'm not that smart.
But you do have some clever lyrics in all your stuff. And it's funny because you mentioned the 90s thing, like, because there's definitely like a Sonic Youth vibe, particularly to your first solo album.
Yeah.
I really, really dig it.
I was really obsessed with Sonic Youth around that time, actually.
Yeah. You were talking about when we were offline before the recording of this, just, getting to know each other on MS or Facebook Messenger.
On MSN,
MSN on ICQ.
We've been trying to plan this podcast forever. We started out on MSN.
Yeah. On ICQ.
Yeah, on ICQ.
I don't remember my number. I think it started with 19. I don't remember. Anyway.
Oh, yeah. I didn't have it. I was too young, but my mom had it. And I would always hear that.
Yeah. But you mentioned something about tour stories.
Tour stories.
Yeah. So do you have any like tour horror stories?
Oh man, just like that. Like, that's like that I can say on a podcast.
You can say anything on a podcast.
Yeah.
It's more about getting people into trouble.
Yeah, that's it. So there's some stuff. I would say horror stories. I'm trying to think of some. There's the classic one that it was our first tour in Europe, and we were going to Germany. No, we were going to Germany, and we had to do it like a transfer in Mannheim or something. Or we were going to Brussels. Anyway, So we stopped in Mannheim, and we were supposed to go to Brussels from there because the train we were on was going to Frankfurt. And that morning, I ate 2 grams of hash.
All right.
So, and we were going to Germany, and I didn't know how it was about borders and everything, and I was just like, I can't waste this, so I ate it. And then so it was a bit slow all day, and I was sitting alone, and I wasn't with the girls because that's just how the seats were. And so we get to Mannheim, and Julie gets out first, and at this point, like, people got out, and I was sitting with Kat. And so Julie gets up first, she has her stuff. I was like, because I was so slow, I had my guitar on my shoulders on my way out, like, just ready to, like, just flip, go. But no, it didn't happen like I wanted to, because as I left, my armrest stuck in my straps. I was trying to get out, and I'm like, oh, shit. And then Kat's trying to help me, and she's like, shit. And then I remember just glancing behind me, and I see like 8-9 people just like waiting. and so I'm just like, fuck. And I just hear it.
Oh no.
And I look outside, and I see young Julie dropping all her stuff, and she's like gone. So yeah, so we had to do like another hour and a half to like catch another one to come get Julie. Julie obviously did not speak German.
No.
So,
but at least you weren't alone. You had Kat with you.
Yeah, exactly. I remember though, like, whenever that stuff would happen, I'd just be like, it's just another feather in my hat.
Yeah.
You know, this is what I'm living for.
Exactly. I mean, you're getting to play music and see places you wouldn't have gotten to see any other way, really. So, which is usually the best way to travel. You know, you can go to a resort and see all the, you know, the sights, but you don't get to see the real places.
No.
You know?
Yeah. Did you know Via Rail has a musicians on board program?
No. After I graduated in college, a buddy of mine, we took what was called the CanRail Pass.
Okay.
So it was like a week's worth of tickets you could get on and off the train during that time.
Yeah, I think they still have that actually.
Yeah, that was fun.
But no, this is like it pays for up to 2 musicians, and if you're playing music on the train, you can travel with Via Rail as long as you provide entertainment.
Oh, so you're kind of like busking on the train.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. When we first started out, the first time we went to Montreal, that's how we did it, and we had a computer, and we were just like burning CDs on the road.
Yeah.
We had like masking tape, and like just cardboard was ugly, and everything was like drawn by hand. Everything was different, like every single demo. But
very, very punk rock DIY.
No, just very broke.
Which is same thing.
Man, starting out, like, first time we went to Europe, we went there, I think we had like maybe $60 or $100 like in between the 3 of us. We had to busk just to make sure to have enough money so when we get to Europe we could eat. So busing on the train. So it kind of but yeah, it's a cool program that I find should be put out there a bit more, because especially like I'm sure there's like a lot of musicians that want to travel and go do a show, and they're looking for ways to, you know,
especially solo or duos, like that are, you know, acoustic kind of a thing.
Yeah, we were lucky because Julie's father worked for Via Rail, so she had like a family pass.
Okay.
But always been cheap like that. Like, yeah, can we get a ticket with your dad? When we first started out, we were so cheap. We were driving around in a 2-door Honda Civic, and like part of our instrumentation was like, what could we fit in the trunk of my Honda Civic? Yeah.
So is that why Kat started playing the ukulele, since it's
Yeah.
smaller?
More space. Yeah.
More space.
Totally. Totally. Yeah.
Whatever works.
Yeah. Oh man, it was ridiculous. Like going to shows and like, I mean, back then it was maybe $40 to fill up the tank.
Yeah.
And yeah.
You don't get a quarter of a tank for that now.
No.
Yeah, that's another thing that's really hard for touring musicians, and like you guys are going to feel that, you know, when you go back on tour. The price of gas shifted while you guys were on the road. Like,
yeah, it's crazy. We've seen it just now. Where was it in Quebec that I saw it was already $195?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, but even at that was like last week.
Yeah,
even changed since then.
Yeah.
Don't take out the car too much. So
we don't necessarily have to get into this topic, but I did see a post that you had made, and it kind of made news. You were talking about Spotify.
Oh yeah.
Calling like just the whole Spotify format in general. I mean, it's great as far as, you know, exposure, but nobody gets paid in exposure. So, and they don't pay their artists. So you'd posted something about having everybody just kind of pull everything all at once on the same day.
But that was kind of like a like, is this what we should do? Like,
yeah, should
we just call a day and do that? Or okay, in a nutshell, I was just sick because people were getting out of Spotify because of Joe Rogan.
Yeah, which is bullshit.
And honestly, like, I'll be honest, I've listened to Joe Rogan. He had great interviews and some funny things. Some stuff he's just, you know, I'm not sensitive enough that I'm like, he's wrong about this, or like, this is ridiculous, you know. And it goes over my head because I don't give a shit as much or whatever. Yeah. But I'm also like, I'm not for hate. I'm not for like, yeah, he's ignorant. He's super 100%. Ignorant. Yeah. But anyway, people were taking their stuff off because of that. And
that's not the real issue.
And that's it. I was like, if people are so easily like, hey, let's get our stuff off this platform, let's talk about people that are actually putting stuff on this platform. Let's put about them being paid. Like, so basically I went on about how they pay so little. I was asking, like, should we remove our music? I got a lot more local returns than I wished I would have. I wish I would have got more people that I know from outside of here. Because, I mean, I do know lots of musicians and lots of random
lots of contacts from years
that can put some effect on other people. But yeah, nothing happened. And even myself, I'm torn on the issue because I love the service. I absolutely love it. I love how I can have it almost everywhere. I like how you can listen to stuff at the same time as other people. I like the suggestions of music that it gives me. I like that it suggests my music to other people. I like the playlist that it gives me. Anyway, but I just find the payout is ridiculous. Because, you can build an app once and then that's fine. And then you rake in money. You make a song once and then you don't get any of that. You get fuck all of that. Like for the amount of songs that I put on there, like 3 months worth of what Spotify pays me is not even enough for 1 month of subscription. And that's what drives me nuts. That while you're making content for them, you don't have a discount as an artist to use the thing. You pay as much as everybody else. And even at that, it's not even the best quality. It's like, I don't care because usually if I want to listen to a song, I'll just listen to a song and I'll buy the vinyl.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
I
same.
still buy. Yeah.
But to put
Like
your
if I
stuff
want
on there,
good
you have
quality.
to pay another service like DistroKid
Yeah.
to publish it onto their platform. So you're paying for your membership, plus you're paying something else to put your content.
Yeah, unless you're
on
smart
there.
enough to like build your own publishing company or whatever, but it's a lot of work. It's like working into publishing and putting all that stuff, like it's ridiculous because you're not a musician anymore. Like you can't just record a song and sell a song anymore. Like and yeah, like now it's all about I don't know, it's just ridiculous. You have to like work a lot more. You have like just releasing music does nothing.
No.
Playing shows is what matters.
Yeah, and that's where you get your connection and you build your fan base. But like, yeah, you can't unless you're on a label that does some publishing and promotion for you. You have to do it yourself, and that like that can be just as much of a full-time job as having a regular job.
But that's it.
You know, and that takes away from actually making the art that you're trying to put out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it kills a lot of it. It's like when you have an idea and you're about to record it down and then you realize there's something not working in your system and you have to spend your whole time troubleshooting patches and all kinds of stuff just to record your idea. And by the time you're all set up to go, you're like, I forgot. Yeah. But anyway, but all of that to say, Spotify, I was torn about it because I thought it was ridiculous their payout, and I found like, it was getting a lot of slack for another reason that they should have had slack for, and like and slack is it
flack? Yeah,
flack. Sorry. Anyway, so I brought it up. And then I started getting lots of demands for interviews. And I think I did 2 interviews, but I turned them down, like the others down, because I don't, like, I said what I had to say, first of all.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to repeat myself about it. I don't want to put anyone in a weird position from my band, our band, my projects, the people that I work with. And also I'm just like, I saw this other post that I posted after saying, the market is oversaturated, explaining a lot of stuff that kind of made sense to me, that removing your music is not gonna help. I feel bad because some people sent me messages and they were like, hey, I took off my music. And I'm like, good for you. Yeah. I've never said anywhere in my messages that I was going to do it.
Right.
And I'm like, I mean,
What, did they come at you because you didn't? Like,
no, it was just like, by the way. And I was just like, okay, well, I don't know what to say because I kind of changed my. I'm on a. I don't know, and I don't care. Like in the sense of I care, but I mean, it goes. There's 2 sides of this medal, and removing your project from Spotify is not gonna help anything.
No.
And like one of the people that contacted me was like, but we, they also put music on, put their money on AI warfare and stuff. And then, but we also accept like government grants of government that helps other governments bomb countries. Yeah. So I'm just, I don't know. I don't have.
You're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't.
That's it, exactly. Yeah. And I mean, I felt like I had to put it out there. I couldn't keep it bottled up, and it was posted pretty late. Yeah. But yeah, it's pretty much you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. And I'm too much of a consumer that I like having my music available to me. I've tried since then. I've tried Tidal. I feel like it's always like an agenda. Like
Yeah, yeah.
they're always trying to push something, like some music, like not necessarily focusing on what you listen to. And it's like, so, and I'm big into trying to discover music. So
Yeah.
unfortunately,
Yeah, I mean,
unfortunately, I went back.
I use Spotify pretty much every day.
Yeah, yeah.
I have music on Spotify, and have I seen anything from it? Nope.
Yeah,
Do I expect a payout from it ever? No.
No. Yeah,
You know,
that's it.
that's
But
just what it
the
is.
problem though is like it absolutely killed sales.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Like
absolutely.
I remember,
Even
yeah,
Bandcamp, like most people, like, oh, I could go and buy your album on Bandcamp, or I could just listen to it on Spotify.
yeah, but
Like,
that's it.
you know.
It's like, are you going to like open up that file and like listen to the digital version of that album, or like if you buy it on Bandcamp, you might as well like don't buy digital, just
Yeah.
buy the physical
Exactly.
copy.
I'd
That's
rather
what I
buy
think.
the physical copy. I usually buy a physical copy, and I have it. And whenever I'm like, if I'm home by myself, I'll throw a vinyl on. But for the
Yeah,
most part, I have it in my ears, or I'm at work and I'm listening to it on Spotify. I've
yeah,
bought it,
that's just
I've paid for it, but I'm also listening to it using a more convenient platform.
yeah.
So it's, yeah,
That's how I am about records too. Like I'll like I have a lot of the stuff I listen to I do have on record, and I sometimes, oh no, I thought I was wearing my Spin It shirt, but sometimes I work at Spin It and like to sell records too.
yeah.
But
Well,
but
I don't work at Blockbuster, so
nice. I remember we used to go to the Blockbuster in Douglastown.
it's in. This is where I got this. My wife got this from the last Blockbuster on Earth.
No way, I was gonna say, okay, it's in Alaska, right?
Um, fuck, I can't remember now. Oregon.
Oh, in Oregon.
Yeah,
Is it
yeah,
still open?
yeah. Oh yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So
That's
yeah, we
cool.
watched the documentary on it, and it just brought back so many memories. And then about a week or
Yeah.
so later, this showed up in the mail.
No
So,
way.
yeah, my
So
wife.
she knew?
Oh well, we watched the documentary together, and then
Okay, but you didn't know that you were getting
no, no,
a
no. She
t-shirt.
just
Oh,
yeah,
that's cool.
she does that type
Nice.
of shit all the time. She's
Mm.
great. Yeah,
She kind of just like put it in your
she
head.
knows.
Yeah,
She knows. Yeah.
yeah.
But that's the thing. Like a lot of retro stuff is coming back, and I know you're a
Yeah,
big person that likes all the old stuff. Like,
yeah.
because I know there's a new arcade bar that opened up in Moncton, and
Zeros.
they got a whole bunch of pinball machines.
Yeah, well, I used to have one like right where you are right now. Like, but yeah, Pat friend. Yeah, exactly. No, but my wall in front of me here, there was actually I'm big into pinball, and Pat from Spin It had lent me like two machines, so I had like Dolly Parton in the kitchen. So whenever I'd be cooking, I while something's cooking, I'd play pinball and check it up or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
So that was fun. And I had Dracula here in the living room, but they're
Nice.
both at zeros,
Oh, so they
which
have
is
them
that.
now.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So I don't have them, but I think one of them is at zeros, and then there's another pinball bar opening up. Well,
Okay.
it's a bowling alley, and they'll have pinball in Riverview.
Okay.
So yeah.
So did you go to Zero's yet?
No, because since it opened, I came back from tour and I had COVID.
Right. Okay. So
It was
you
my
guys
plan. I might go tomorrow. I'm good to go out tomorrow.
are okay. Yeah. Because I was gonna say you guys are leaving on. Well, by the time this airs, you'll have left already. But
Right.
you guys are leaving for a second leg of your tour. How long?
Yeah.
When does that tour finish up? Like, goes into April or?
I don't even know. I know that we have like a steady amount of shows like this time, and then there's I think we have like some time off in April, but then we're going to Europe, and then Julie has her tour in UK. Well, with someone here in New
Yeah,
Brunswick.
the back and forth.
Also, just like separate projects too, with like Les Hôtesses d'Hilaire, and Kat is also in like she has a bunch of projects that like acting and producing another album, and all kinds of stuff. So
you guys are all busy on your own. Let alone
we like to keep busy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, and then this summer is starting to get booked up a bit more, and yeah, the next fall hopefully we'll be starting to do more solid bookings of shows. But
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think this is about the last leg of the tour. I didn't even realize.
Like, you guys planning far enough ahead that you know when you're gonna book another cabin retreat to come up with another album?
Well, we've been trying to last January and February, and it just didn't work out, but sooner than later, for sure.
Yeah. Like, do you already have songs kind of from playing, or it's just clean slate?
No, clean slate, yeah. So nothing yet. And we don't even know if we're going to try to find a concept or just go. We really liked working with a concept last time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like a better way to work as a team on an art project, I find.
Yeah. I thought that whole concept for the Boîte aux Lettres was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. We thought so too.
Well,
no,
obviously.
honestly, when we fell into that, we were like so like blown away, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it's exciting to share with the world and for people to take it in as much too.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
It's it's like
cool.
a movie.
So I have crash questions that usually come up near the end of the podcast. Just it's not really quick fire, but it's, you know, just smaller type questions that can be quick or not. The first question I always ask everybody, it doesn't matter, is always, do you prefer cake or pie?
Pie. Absolutely.
100%.
Yeah.
Team pie.
Team pie. Oh yeah. Big time.
Yeah.
Do people actually say cake?
Yeah, Julie said cake.
Yeah, of course.
Well, she said cheesecake, but you know.
Yeah, cheesecake for sure. Yeah,
that's cheating.
It's not a cake. Yeah, of course, she said cheesecake.
Yeah. So was that coffee or tea with cheese with your pie?
With a pie, I feel like I would go for a coffee, but it feels more like Mehmet and Pepe's house to go with the tea.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Like a King Cole, kind of an orange pico, kind of, yeah.
Orange pico, yeah, black tea with a pie. Yeah. But that's more like after supper. But if it's like any other dirty time of the day, yeah, with a coffee for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. So what, when you go on tour, what's something that you have to bring with you?
I usually have to bring a dongle for my phone. Yeah.
Okay.
No, because we can do like long hours in the van. I'm not going to be like much on social media. I'm usually just planning what's the next song or playing whatever people's request. And I like doing that. It keeps me busy, but I don't... sometimes I'll bring my Switch to keep us entertained at night or something, but no, we play cards more, or like maybe I'll bring a book. But I try to keep like as less stuff on me as possible.
Yeah.
I used to bring, do you know the OP1?
No.
It's like a cool little, wait, I'll whip it out here. It's a cool little instrument. I used to bring that all the time, but I have to get a case. So I used to bring this here. So it's made by Teenage Engineering. It's like a keyboard and a sampler and a drum machine and a 4-track recorder, like synth. And so I like bringing that usually.
Okay.
Like I'll put
Something
my
to
headphones and just make
be
music.
creative, make something.
Yeah. It's also like a MIDI controller. So yeah.
That's cool. I'll have to Google that and check some of that stuff out.
It's a fun toy.
Yeah. Sorry. So off topic, what would be your favorite TV series of all time?
My Strange Addiction.
Okay. I don't think I've ever watched
TLC's
that.
My Strange Addiction. What?
Oh, okay. Yeah, with the
Yeah, they
there's
eat
that woman
couches
that
and stuff.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, yeah. I remember that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's like top notch my type of TV.
Riveting, trend setting. Yeah.
I most people tell me I'm freaking gross, but I love that cringy stuff. Or I don't know, like Righteous Gemstones, or like
That's something I've been meaning to get to watch because they got the second season up now. Yeah.
Yeah. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
first season was better, but yeah, it's good.
Okay. I haven't watched any of it yet, so I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah. It's good so far though.
Yeah. Alive or Dead. So if you could just pick any concert to go and watch, what would it be?
Oh my God. Alive or Dead. There's so many.
So you had a time machine, you could just go.
Yeah. Just like that.
Just like that.
I want to go to like nothing particular. I just want to go in like jazz bars in like New York in like the 60s.
Oh, okay.
70s. Yeah. I think that like just showing up in a bar and not knowing what's going on, but it's prime time in jazz.
Yeah.
I think that would be like I like that.
That's a really good answer.
Yeah, I like going to shows that I don't know who's playing and enjoying that.
Yeah, that's like going to see a movie without watching a trailer. You just
Yeah. I saw this it happened to me a couple times of like seeing bands, then I see their names a lot after, and it's fun because like I used to do you remember like Bands in Town or like Songkick?
No, I'm in Miramichi. We didn't have any of that stuff.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So like, anyway, whenever I travel, I use like this thing to figure out like what's coming in your town, but I use it in whatever town I'm going to see what shows are going on. So I used to just like there's a bunch of stuff you don't know what it is, so I used to just get a feel like if there's a pinball machine, chances are it's gonna be good music or a good time. If it's like in a random bar, depending on where and what it was, I'd go discover some new music, and I found a couple of really interesting things like while doing that for sure.
Yeah. So the idea of just the unknown and discovering something that you weren't expecting is more appealing than just picking something that you're familiar with and going with that.
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
If I'm at like a festival and there's like a big act playing, I'll probably go see that. But other than that, maybe I don't even know if they did live shows together, but maybe Lee Hazelwood and Nancy Sinatra.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, that would have probably been one of those. Or the Carpenters.
Yeah.
Carpenters would have been a good show to see. Karen on the drums.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's amazing.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would definitely like to see that.
So if you had I asked this to Julie, and the answer that she gave was hilarious. I won't tell you what it was until later, but
I wonder if I'll guess it.
You probably maybe. So in your old Civic, if you had a CD that was stuck in it, what CD would you least want it to be?
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, I know what she said. I definitely know what she said. But but I grew up with Sublime.
That's exactly what she said. Yeah.
She has like none of it behind her. Like, no, there's no trace of Sublime, so it's all foreign for her.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. A CD that I could not stand would probably be YouTube musicians' greatest hits. I don't know, the top hits of the YouTube musicians.
Oh God, influencers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gross.
That's it. Yeah. So that, I don't know if it exists, but
No, but I get the
I would
idea.
definitely not want that CD.
It's one of the new KTEL.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
New KTEL releases. Yeah.
KTEL. Can you imagine like a KTEL record is stuck on your record player? Like,
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah.
Some of them were good though.
Oh,
Yeah.
back in the day, the mini pops were the shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you had to choose a poutine
Yeah.
or poutine râpé,
Putin.
all the
Putin
way.
up is gross. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Just not.
Yeah,
into
either you
Putin
love or
up.
you hate them, right?
I know. I've tried it again as an adult, being like, I'm gonna be an adult about this, and
Yeah.
maybe I'll find. But no, I have none. There's no space for love for Putin Rape in my heart.
All of Rogersville is just like scratching their heads right now.
I know. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So you told me where the worst poutine was. Where's the best?
Best Putin is always in an arena.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's always in an arena or best Putin.
Truck stop.
Truck stop. Like the big stop?
Yeah, like a big stop or just like any of those
Yeah.
truck diners.
Yeah, that's true. Wait, I got one for you. Straight cut or crinkle cut?
Oh fuck. Oh shit. You know, I usually eat straight cut, but there's something about crinkle cut.
Yeah, there's something about crinkle cut. I like it too. It just absorbs more grease.
Yeah, like Dixie Lee poutine.
Yeah,
Because they got the crinkle cut. Yeah.
Yeah, I got looked weird at that disgusting pizza place by the band because I asked for crinkle cut. I was like, no, and honestly, I did not regret it. It was the best part of my poutine for sure. The
Good.
fries.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I'll let you add that question to your bank of
Crinkle
questions if you want.
Awesome. Oh, this is awesome. This has been great.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Thank you very much for I know it was a whole back and forth to, and I didn't want to bother you with, booking time for this before going on tour.
Yeah, no, not at all. It was fun. Thanks, Andre.
I had a lot of fun, and I hope you guys kill it on the second half of your tour. And I look forward to hopefully being able to catch a show sometime.
Yeah, let us know if we're playing around, and we'll put you on the list there.
Well, that would probably be the closest you'd come to play that I'd be able to go see would be probably Moncton.
Oh, okay, well, there you go. Well, let us know.
Unless you play Bathurst.
Yeah, probably not. I don't know what's the last time we played Bathurst, but if there is a show in Moncton soon, is there one? I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay, yeah, but anyway, if there is one soon, I'll let you know.
Cool.
And you can come.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much.
Well, thank you. Take care.
You too.
See ya. Okay.
So I can't thank Vivianne enough for taking the time out of her schedule to have a chat with me. Very much appreciated, and really do hope to catch a show at some point. The Hey Babies have certainly made a name for themselves, and that's because of how hard they work. They certainly have put in the time and the effort and paid their dues and just done the hard work. So the Hey Babies are an amazing band, and do check out their stuff. I will have all of the links down in the descriptions, as well as Vivianne's solo work under the name of Laura Sauvage. you really should check that out as well. She's got 2 albums available. So I'll have the links for those as well. Just again, thank you, Vivianne, for being on the episode, having a chat with me. Hey Babies are now on tour again until the end of the month of March. More dates will be posted. So if you're in the areas where they are, do go see them. So I'm going to be trying something different. I'm switching release dates from the Tuesdays to Thursdays, still keeping the bi-weekly schedule. Still having a blast making these episodes and having these conversations. So as long as I'm having fun, I'm going to keep doing them. And I do have some more guests lined up. Very much looking forward to having conversations with them, sharing their journey, their stories with the rest of you. So I hope you tag along for that. So until next time, as always, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, be kind to one another, and tell somebody you appreciate them. Pay it forward. So yeah, until next one. Bye.